Hi friends, Evolving Guys, welcome back to the channel. Thanks for following along with our collection journey. So this is our first Friday market update, and so once a month I update my own personal collection goals and my records and look ahead to the new month. And so I figured this is a good opportunity to also just share with you how I keep track of my collection. And it's also my monthly window into what's going on in the Pokemon card market. I know there are lots of channels on YouTube where people follow the market very closely and have their opinions. And so for me, I do have some sense of what's going on just from seeing headlines on YouTube and watching a few of those videos here and there. But this is sort of my effort monthly to sit down with the numbers and to get a sense of what's been going on, at least as it relates to my collection goals. So I'm not doing the market as a whole. And there's lots of, again, places on YouTube you can get that. And so I wanted to do two things today. I'm going to share what I picked up in the last month, how I've gotten a little bit closer to my collection goals, and then also talk a little bit about how the market has changed and how that might affect my collection goals for this coming November 2024. So first of all, on the sealed front, I showed this in a different video as well, but I did pick up one kind of important contribution to my sealed collection. It's a Sword and Shield base set booster box, sealed booster box. I got this at a card show that I vended a couple weeks ago now. There's a vendor who I had seen before around town, and I knew she had this, and I've been wanting it for my collection. I started collecting sealed product. I started collecting Pokemon in general kind of in the early Sword and Shield era, but after Sword and Shield base had released, and so I didn't have a chance to get an original Sword and Shield booster box when it was first available, and that's one thing that's been missing for my collection. I'm trying to have some sealed product of every Sword and Shield and Scarlet and Violet set, and so that is just one thing that was missing from my collection. Her asking price for it was well under market price. I'm not sure if that's just how she rolls or if that was just some sort of special, but I really appreciated it, so I felt like it was kind of a hard to pass up because I was getting a pretty significant discount on it, so I paid well under market TCG player market price for this. And so that's my main sealed collection or sealed addition to my collection. I also do try to collect sealed items from every set that gets released. It's my philosophy that if I get some of every set, especially upon release when the prices are relatively low, and just hold it in almost all cases, even for sets that turn out not to be so exciting, that is still a good investment. And of course, then if you're lucky enough to pick up things like Evolving Skies when it first released, which I did, and that stuff just goes nuts too, so that also can help. But anyway, I do have plans. I've said this for months now, but I do have plans for an investing video. I don't really have a lot of investing takes, but I do have some thoughts, and so that's maybe for another video. So that is my sealed investment. I did pick up quite a few singles, which we're going to talk about. So I'm going to bring in my sheet that I use. I'll try to make sure it's centered on the screen because sometimes the formatting of this gets funky. So anyway, I update the prices every month, and so this is my one that I've been working off of for the month of October. So I'll print this out at the beginning of the month, and then for the month of October, if I pick up anything, I can cross it off this list. And I'm working on master sets of every Sword and Shield set. So starting with this Sword and Shield promos, and then you can see if it's complete, then I mark complete, and complete for me is both reverse holo and all the regular variants, including all the secret rares. So I'm making a lot of progress on Sword and Shield. It's becoming slower or harder because the cards that remain are pretty expensive, and so it's really realistic to only pick up those one or two at a time, and maybe not every month I'm adding something or taking something off of this particular list. But you can see here, this is, again, the list I was working off of from October. And the big addition here is I did pick up the Galarian Articuno V Alt Art. Again, I got this also at the card show. And I got it for under market price, which was nice. And, you know, anytime I can cross something off, there's only a few cards left on this list that are under $50. And in fact, most of the cards that are left on this list are over $100 or even more. You can, if I scroll down here to the bottom, you can see that as of at least the beginning of October, I still needed, or I guess depending on how you look at it, I only needed 24 cards to complete all Sword and Shield master sets, which is not very many cards, which is exciting, but the total value of those cards is almost $5,000. Now, the market price of those cards had decreased, and so I think the market was trending in at least a favorable direction for a collector if you're still looking to pick things up. So I did pick up that one card, and I'll show you the updated list for Sword and Shield in just one second. On the other side here, you can see that I do keep a list here of what it would cost to complete the remaining sets. You can see that would be most affordable, and you wouldn't call this affordable, but $314 for those two final Champions Path cards that I'm missing, then the Sword and Shield promos, also 2 cards that I'm looking for there, then Lost Origin, then Fusion Strike, Chilling Reign, and of course Evolving Skies. Still missing 11 cards from Evolving Skies, all the heavy hitters, including the Umbreon, which we know, if you follow the hobby at all, that just went over $1,000 for a raw card, which is kind of crazy. And so that's one I don't expect to pick up soon, but I still have some Evolving Skies to open on the channel in the coming. I've got some plans for that in December, so I will have some Evolving Skies. And so who knows, maybe we will get really lucky. So I'll look at the cards that I picked up in just one second, but I did want to show, this is my other list. I also have Scarlet and Violet as a separate piece of paper. I keep track of the promos. Of course, the promos of Scarlet and Violet, because this is the current set, the current era, they're constantly kind of coming out, and I try to keep track, like Stellar Crown that released on 9/13. I need some of the promo cards for Stellar. This is at the beginning of October, that is. Paldea Evolve, still 2 cards. I made quite a bit of progress on my Scarlet and Violet. That's kind of the good news. I did pick up that 1 Sword and Shield card from Chilling Reign, but most of my progress this month was in the Scarlet and Violet era. You can see for 151, I picked up 3 cards, including we pulled the Blastoise as part of our daily Shorts series, the Survivor series that we're doing on our Shorts channel. And then I picked up Squirtle and Charmeleon at the card show as well. Again, both for under market price, which was nice. Paradox Rift, I just picked up 1 card. I actually went ahead and purchased all the rest of these, but I ordered them online, and I'm not going to cross them off the list until they actually arrive. So when I do this market update for the beginning of December, Paradox Rift should be a complete master set. I was only about $100 away from finishing that set, and it just felt like the peace of mind, or just whatever, the satisfaction of kind of crossing these off. There's nothing super expensive left, and for $100 to be able to complete a master set, especially because, you know, the sets just keep coming fast and furious in Scarlet and Violet, and it's hard to keep up. So it's nice when I can check one off the list. Paldean Fates, I need 15 cards before the month, as the month of October began, and I did cross several off the list. I think 5 cards I crossed off the list here. Again, these are ones I just ordered from my local card shop. I like to try to support my local card shop with singles purchases, and as long as they're offering them for market price, I'm happy to pay just regular market price. And so I often will go through their collections and see what they have, and if they have some stuff that I need. So I did pick up some Paldean Fates. Twilight Masquerade, I did pick up the Perrin special illustration rare. I got that at the card show. It was a trade. So I had actually a kid who had this card and wanted to trade, and so I traded some sealed product for it. Of equal value to the Perrin card, but that's a nice one to cross off the list, and I was happy to go from some sealed product to having a card that I need. And then you can see here Shrouded Fable. A lot of the cards I still need for these recent sets aren't necessarily expensive or hard to find or hard to get, but they're just, you know, it just takes time and energy and effort and money, of course, to like cross these off the list. But I did pick up quite a few cards from Shrouded Fable. Again, a lot of these were just from my local card shop. They were cards that they happened to have, and so I picked up the ones that they happened to have on hand, and so I was able to cross quite a few things off. So that list is going to be a lot shorter starting in November. And then, of course, I need to add Stellar Crown. I have that on a separate piece of paper as the new set. I'll show you that in one second, but you can see kind of where we stand. Paradox Rift, like I said, I just did complete that, although I'm waiting for the cards to arrive. Paldea Evolve would be the next easiest to complete, just the 2 cards, the Magikarp and the Iono Special Illustration Rare. Shrouded Fable, again, that's going to get much more attainable with the cards I picked up this month. Same with Paldean Fates, Twilight Masquerade. I picked up 1 of the 3 remaining cards. And Scarlet and Violet 151, as you'll see in a second, we know that I did make some progress. I picked up 3 of the 9 cards that I needed, but the prices on the remaining cards have gone a little haywire, and so it's still going to be kind of a hard set to complete. Also, I do keep track of reverse hollows. I do want to have reverse hollows for master sets. Certainly, the reverse hollows that I pull, I put those into my master sets, but that's always going to leave some gaps unless you're just opening a tremendous amount of cards. And so actually one thing I did this past month is I went through my binders and I ordered all the remaining reverse hollows that I needed for all the sets through Stellar Crown. And so I really, I'm still waiting for these cards to arrive. And they will be arriving over the next few weeks. I ordered them on TCG Player. And again, most of them are not very expensive. I mean, 10 cents, 15 cents, 20 cents. There's a handful of them that are a little more expensive than that, but it cost me, I think, less than maybe around $50 to order all the reverses that I still needed for all of these sets. Again, most of them were relatively complete as far as reverse hollows, but I just needed to check that box. And so I was able to do that this month, and I wanted to get caught up just kind of up to Surging Sparks. So Surging Sparks is kind of where the new kind of starting point for me when it comes to reverse hollows. So that is my marked up sheet. You can see I did quite a bit of marking on it this month. And so what I'll do is I'll just have this with me during the month, and I'll keep it with me when I'm going out card hunting. And for the very latest set, usually, like in this case here, Stellar Crown, I do have the complete card list because at first, I'm marking off a lot of things. But now we're to the point I've crossed off quite a few things or highlighted things that I picked up. So I'm just down to now a handful of Stellar Crown cards remaining. And so I'm going to transfer those names to the other sheet. And so I want to show you an example of what a clean sheet looks like. And again, this is how I'll start the month. Now these prices are updated on the 27th because I wanted to have this ready as a video to launch on the 1st. So these prices are from the 27th, and these are prices will just kind of give me an idea throughout the month of November. Of course, prices can change. But this is kind of my market update part of the video, where when I go through and update the prices every month, I only update the prices of the cards that I still need, but it still gives me some handle, I think, on how the market is moving. At least the market for modern singles is moving. And so you can see here, for example, the promo cards, the special delivery Pikachu and special delivery Bidoof that I need. Those didn't change at all, not even $1. So those are really stable. Champions Path did go up a little bit, up $14 from the same time last month, so there's a little bit of movement, but relatively stable. I would still say Chilling Reign, you can see pretty stable. Either some of the cards went up slightly. The Blaziken VMAX continued to drop a little bit. It's now well under $300. Still an expensive card, but it has gone down. Evolving Skies is actually kind of interesting. Evolving Skies is still, I would say, still relatively stable, except for the Umbreon. You can see here the Umbreon increased by $60, and it's now over $1,000 as of the 27th of October when I last updated this list. But you can see most of the other cards just went up a few dollars, and in a few cases, like the Glaceon VMAX, went down $26. The Rayquaza is up a little bit, but overall, the 11 cards that are still remaining for me to complete the Evolving Skies Master Set, they only went up by a total of $72, which again is a little bit of upward movement, but not like super crazy haywire out of control movement. Fusion Strike also like relatively stable. The Espeon actually went down by $21, but then the Gengar went up by 11, so the net is about it should be $10. But in any case, you can see that those cards are relatively stable. There's a little bit of movement up and down. These are all complete. The last thing I'm looking for is Lost Origin. We've got the Giratina. The Giratina continues to go up. It's up to $361. So again, that one is continuing to grow. The Aerodactyl is now under $100. The Aerodactyl V Aldart from Lost Origin is now back under $100, and so might not be a terrible time to pick that up. So where I stand right now is going into the month of November 2024. I have 23 cards remaining to complete all my Sword and Shield Master sets. The total to do that in one foul swoop would still be pretty expensive, $5,000. It's a lot of money to spend on cards, but again, this is the long game, so we'll try to chip away at these little by little, sometimes through trades, sometimes through just taking cards into my local card shop, getting store credit, and just building up that store credit so that maybe I can make a run at one of these more valuable cards if it does come into the shop. And you can see if you want to look at what it would take me, again, it's still Champion's Path would be the easiest, or at least the least expensive to complete. Then the Sword and Shield promos, Lost Origin. Chilling Reign actually moved positions because I picked up that one card, and because some of the price drops, it's actually now by $1. It would be a little bit cheaper to finish the 4 cards of Chilling Reign than it would be the 2 final Fusion Strike cards, and then Evolving Skies. Kind of the great white whale, right? We're still all trying to figure that out. And then on the other side, I have my Scarlet and Violet update. Again, there's quite a few new promos that are, they're not quite released yet. We've got obviously all the stuff that's going to be coming out with Surging Sparks. I still need to pick up the Stellar Crown pre-release promos from the Build and Battle boxes. And then there's quite a few. The Trainer's Toolkit is now available. There's a Squawkabilly EX promo in there. The new Charizard Premium Collection, which I've seen quite a bit on store shelves, that has a promo in it. That's right now, the promo itself is just $8. So probably not worth buying the entire, $70 or $80 Charizard Super Premium Collection just to get that promo. Pick the promo up as a single unless you really want the Charizard figure and the packs inside. The Tropicos EX Ultra Premium Collection releases on the 22nd. There are 3 promos in there that you'll need for your Black Star promo list if you're collecting those. The Teal Mask Ogerpon Collection on the 15th, the Blood Moon Ursaluna Collection on the 15th, and the Grand Adventure Collection on the 15th. There are promos in all of those, 2 promos in the Grand Adventure Collection. So if you're keeping track of the Black Star promos with Scarlet and Violet, There's some stuff in November definitely to keep your eyes on. As far as my master sets, again, Paldea, I'm still seeking those 2 cards. Magikarp has gone back up a little bit. It's now at 124. Iono continues to drop slowly but surely, so it's not a bad time probably to consider picking up the Iono. Scarlet Violet 151, like I said, I'm down to just 6 cards. Of course, they're mostly the heavy hitters. I mean, most of the cards aren't super crazy, but you can see, I mean, some of them haven't moved that much. The Charmander up by $4, the Wartortle up by $3, the Charizard EX kind of full art up by $4, but you can see the special illustration rares in this set have really gone a little berserk. The Venusaur is up $24 just in the last month. The Charizard has gone up $63. It's nearing $200. And the Zapdos EX special illustration rare is now up to $54, up $14 just in the last month. And so, I don't know. I still have some 151 to open. Again, watch the channel for that, but I'm not inclined to maybe, you don't want to buy at the peak of the market. And so 151, it's probably maybe a good time to wait on picking up 151 singles and seeing if those prices will come back down, or if you can get your hands on 151 booster packs at a reasonable price, then maybe try to rip some packs to see if you can pull something. Like I said, Paradox Rift, I still have these remaining 9 cards listed because they haven't arrived in the mail, but I did order all these just to be able to cross this off. You can see less than $100 to complete this entire master set, so I felt like it was worth it just to kind of check that box. Paldean Fates, I'm down to 10 cards left. Again, several of the heavy hitters. The Charizard, the Mew. The Mew is kind of a funny one. I have it highlighted because the most recent sales on TCG Player of the Mew are like twice this. I mean, they're in the high 100s, and market price is still listed as 91. I don't know if there's some market manipulation going on there. I'm not sure why the Bubble Mew would double in price in the last month, and so that's a card just to keep it. I want to kind of keep an eye on and see what's going on with that. I'm just a little curious. Maybe there are some YouTubers who have some videos about that. Everything else in Paldean Fates is flat or declining, and so NC means no change. So I would say, if you're looking at the prices of something like 151 and saying, well, where else could I put my collection dollars this month? Seems like Paldean Fates wouldn't be a bad choice, except for the Bubble Mew. That's a place where the prices, again, are flat or declining. We have a complete Temporal Forces. Twilight Masquerade, we're down to just those 2 cards. Again, I'm not inclined to pay over $300 for the Greninja right now, and so probably that's one that if I can get some Twilight Masquerade booster packs for a reasonable price, we'll just kind of keep at it. Carmine's not terrible at $74. That wouldn't be bad if I saw that around for a good price. Shrouded Fable, again, we've made quite a bit of progress. Most of the cards remaining, I mean, there's a handful of expensive cards. The most expensive card in this set is the Earthen Vessel Hyper Rare, which is $62. But you can see here's another place where the prices of Shrouded Fable are either flat or declining across all the cards that we still need. And so that might be a set, again, if you're looking at 151 prices, or even Surging Spark pre-release prices, which are pretty crazy, you might consider working on your Shrouded Fable Master set instead. And then Stellar Crown, we've made quite a bit of progress. Again, the latest set that just came out, we are 13 cards away, and you can see several of them are just $1 or $2. It's not that they're expensive, but we just haven't pulled them yet, and I haven't had a chance to go out and pick them up. And so it wouldn't be hard to make even more progress. You can see we've got the Tropicos EX Special Illustration Rare is the chase card in this set. It's now under $100. And everything else in this set is very affordable or manageable. The Bulbasaur is the next most expensive at $38. And then you can see there's a handful of cards in the 20s and low 30s, but otherwise, this card, again, I kind of said when we started opening Stellar Crown that this would not be so hard to finish, I think. Surging Sparks is upcoming. I looked ahead, and there's the Prismatic Evolution that's expected in January, and then the next Scarlet and Violet main series set right now is expected in March, and so that just to look ahead, we've got a little bit of time. Surging Sparks is obviously going to be a tough set to master. I have a different video where we previewed Surging Sparks, and we'll do a master set challenge. And you can see here as far as sets remaining, and Paradox Rift is on here, but technically that is completed. And so then our next easiest would be Paldea, then Stellar Crown, then Shrouded Fable, then Paldean Fates. And 151 remains, even with just 6 cards left, that kind of remains at the top. And so what I have here are the cards that I did pick up this month that we crossed off the list. The only Sword and Shield card is the Galarian Articuno from Chilling Reign, a very cool card. And then we have the Charmeleon, we got our 151, the Squirtle, the Blastoise, there's our 151. We just picked up the one for now for Paradox Rift, but again, the rest of those are on their way. Paldean Fates, we picked up a couple of the shinies, then we picked up a couple of the special illustration rare trainers to increase our collection there. For Shrouded Fable, again, kind of a collection of things, nothing necessarily like super valuable or expensive, but just trying to check those boxes, we did get a couple of the hyper rares, and so we made a good progress there towards our Shrouded Fable Master set. And then lastly but not leastly, Stellar Crown. We still needed some of the double rares. We even, for all the packs we opened, we were still missing, and I'm still missing a few double rares. And we picked up a handful of the illustration rares that are low-hanging fruit. There's one of the ultra rares, another ultra rare, and then I picked up a couple of the special illustration rares, the Doshbund EX, which is a cool card. He looks like some holobred there, and then the Lacey. So those are quite a bit. We made quite a bit of progress towards our master set this month, our master sets. And again, the market, it's, Surging Sparks is strong, Scarlet and Violet 151 is strong, Scarlet and Violet, the rest of Scarlet and Violet seems like flat or stable, and so those you might focus on some other sets. And then Sword and Shield, again, Evolving Skies is always a bit of a roller coaster, but I think some of the other sets are stable. But again, in our case, because the cards we need are pretty expensive, we'll have to sort of pick and choose our spots when it comes to working on this Sword and Shield Master set. So anyway, I'd love to hear your thoughts about what you're working on, how you're collecting, and this is our monthly market update. Thanks for tuning in to our first Friday market update, and check back to the channel soon for more videos. Have a great day.